Welcome back to Briggs on Books, our international talk show where I get to talk to authors from all over the world about their books. So I have the best job ever. I read half the day, then the other half of the day I talk to authors on this show. So we get to know the authors, and hopefully you'll say, that's a neat guy, or that's an interesting guy. I want to order that book. And to that end, we have a return guest, Tom Davis. Welcome, Tom.
Hey, thank you.
Glad
to be with you.
Tell our viewers where you're located.
I am located in Las Vegas, Nevada.
Nice, very nice. Is it cold there, hot there? I don't know what Las Vegas is like.
It's not. It's probably about close to 70 today, but it's
Nice.
pretty windy.
Yeah,
We've
interesting.
been getting a lot of wind lately for some reason or other. I don't know why.
Now, I know last time you were on, it was with a different book. What was that other book called we talked about last
It
time?
was Asim's Extraordinary Journeys.
That's right. Look at this one. Here's the cover. Look at this one. Drew and the Centaur, The Spiritual World. Tom, tell us a little bit about this book.
Well, this book is something I was trying to be just a little bit different from what the normal fantasy part is. I wanted to give them something, a little more, I don't want to say stranger, but a little more different than your normal, superhero, super
Yeah.
person that, does whatever. And I thought about a centaur. I've liked them for many years.
Yeah.
And so I thought about a centaur, and I thought, well, I wonder how I could incorporate this into a story, if I use him. And I did.
Okay. Now,
So,
Centaur is half man, half horse.
That's correct.
Yeah. Now,
Yeah, and he's actually a young boy. He's not a full man yet.
Okay.
So that's how they meet as young boys.
yeah. Now, by the way, Tom, this isn't a realm, what you call a realm, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
Well, yeah. I like to call it a netherworld.
Okay.
It's never a real world.
Neverworld, yeah.
So
Well, it amazes me, those who can write like that you have to keep track of so many little details, I'd imagine, about the realm or the world you're creating.
definitely, and you go to so many different things and names and various things. So yeah, it's you. There's a lot to keep track of. Yes,
Yeah. And
definitely.
what would you call the genre on this? Is it fantasy?
A fantasy.
Yeah. And
Fantasy, definitely fantasy.
I don't know why. I'm trying to find out because we've talked to so many people, but this genre is so popular. I mean, so many people love to read these fantasy. Why do you think that is?
I think fantasy is just one of those items that really can, when you read, you get involved in it, and it just takes you away from the real world, should we say, and puts you in this make-believe world that you can really get involved
Yeah.
in, and it's just like, just your troubles are gone for a while, put it that way.
Now, of course, fantasy readers, those who love fantasy, will find this book interesting. Who else? Who's this book for, Tom?
It's mainly for a younger audience. Usually I start, thinking about books for children right starting around 8 years old and on up. And this book is a little different for me. It's a shorter book.
Yeah.
There's only 220 pages in this book, so it's an easy read.
Yeah.
You can read it in one day. You can read it in a few hours.
Yeah.
So it's something different for me this time.
Yeah. Can I tell you that I like the shorter books?
Yeah, that's good.
Yeah, I really do. Now, so you think kids, maybe 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 14, will read this book?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely. I think it's a great book for that age.
Yeah.
The book itself, it's about friendship and it's about coming together. And the biggest part, I guess, that I've tried to portray in the book is the friendship, not the camaraderie or whatever you want to call it,
Yeah.
but the real tough friendship of these two young boys getting together. Now, like I say, one is a centaur, but the way they come together, the way they get together, and then off on their little journey together. You know what I'm saying?
Yes. Yes. Now, I have had this theme on our show lately. Parents of kids this age, 8, 10, 12, 14, one thing your kids will be doing this year a lot is Get, getting invited to birthday parties. They're going to go to a dozen birthday parties, and your kid's going to come to you and say, "Hey, I'm on my way to that party. I need a gift." So I'm telling parents with kids that age, go to wherever you like to order books and order this book, but not one copy. Order like 5 or 6 of them, because every time your kid goes to a party, you got them on your shelf and send them, and the kids will love that. They'll all be talking about it because they all have the same book. I loved that when I had my kids.
Absolutely, absolutely, and books are a wonderful gift
Always,
because
yes.
it's one of those items that if you don't ever know what to buy somebody,
Yeah,
buy them a book.
that's right.
A book is such a normal thing for people to that they don't really think of when they're thinking of gifts for
Right.
people, but it is a great gift.
Yep, especially for kids. So these are
Absolutely,
great.
absolutely.
Kids cannot read enough books, but when they find one that's cool, like, oh, all my friends have that book, I'm going to read it too. That helps get it going too. I like that.
Definitely. Yeah, you're right there, Mike. Yeah, definitely.
And I tell you this too, is that I like, whenever my kids had a book, I always read it first. I like books written for this, like young, late teen, young adult kind of books. I love them.
Absolutely.
So
Absolutely.
it's not just for kids. It's for anybody who likes to read or likes fantasy, wants some entertainment or a diversion. Here's a great book for you. Now,
Oh, absolutely. Yeah, you don't have to be a young kid to enjoy this book, that's for sure.
where can they get the book?
You can buy it on Amazon or any other retail outlet.
Yeah.
Mainly on Amazon. That's usually where most people go for books. So
Yeah. I go, when I'm in my local Target, I always ask for the books of the people who've been on the show. So when I'm in Target this week, I'll be saying, "Hey, do you have that Tom Davis book in, the new one?" And sometimes they order them, so we'll do that.
yeah, definitely. I mean, they can order it wherever you go, whether it's
Yeah.
Barnes and Noble, Target, Walmart,
Yeah.
or whoever. If it's not there, they can go ahead and order it for sure.
By the way, you have the best web address ever. I've already memorized it. TommyDavisAuthor.com. It says it all right there. What do we find there? Can we order the books there? What else is on your website?
Actually, you can order an ebook there if you want to, or it will. So I've got a link that'll take you to Amazon, of course. But yeah, you can order it right. If you want the ebook, you can order it right off my website.
Right off the website. Is there anything on that website that would help us understand what's going on in the mind of Tom Davis?
Definitely. There's a large blurb about me and myself, where I've been, where I come from, everything else. There's also a lot of information about the book itself,
Yeah.
and also there's some free pages that you can read.
Yeah, I like
to get you into it.
I like free, Tom. But
Right.
I know that trick. You give us a couple pages, and once we read those pages, then we have to buy the book because we're so drawn in by that. So
Absolutely.
I like that idea. Now,
Yeah.
Tom, I know this is the second book we've talked to you about on our show, I think. And is there another book on its way out?
I have an Asim's book 4 coming out, probably in the next couple of weeks or so. And yeah, that's it, I think, right now. I'm in the middle of writing Drew and the Centaur book 2.
Okay.
I'm pretty close to finishing that one, so that might be out sometime this year. It depends on how things work out.
Yeah. And by the full name is Drew and the Centaur, the Magical Sword. And what'll come back in the next book? The sword, the centaur, all of them probably.
Just Drew and the Centaur will be back.
Nice.
Yeah, they're on a different journey this time. It's a continuation from where they were, and it's a continuation on from there. So it's but it's a different journey this time.
Yeah. There's so many of our viewers. There's so many prospective authors out there. I mean, literally millions of people who are writing a book, and they just can't quite get to the end. And if they get to the end, then they've got this big puzzle to solve about how do you get it published. But you've done it several times. Congratulations. And our viewers out there often ask, they send me notes, how did they do it? What's your discipline, Tom? You sit down every day at a certain time, or is it just whatever comes up?
Personally, I sit down each day. I start, I go back, I look at what I've done. If I want to continue, I'll continue. If I'm not feeling it, then I won't. It's just one of them things where you actually, when you sit down to write, you actually have to feel it. You have to
Yes.
really feel that you're there, you are doing what you're doing.
Right.
If you haven't got that feeling, then
Mm.
don't write that day.
Yeah. Plenty of other things you could do in your life. If it's not the time to write, then don't, I guess.
Yeah, well, that's true, and I'm retired, so I have a little more time than probably most people have. But yeah, yeah,
Now,
it's.
are
But I
you
do like every day. I do sit down, and
nice.
actually, I'm sitting at the computer right now. But
Now, are you typing? You type it into a computer, I guess.
yeah, I type it into the computer, and
Amazing. All the people I talk to on this show, some are still writing it by hand, some are dictating it into their phone. There's all kinds of ways to get the material down now, I guess.
absolutely, absolutely. I used to write it by hand. I used to take my pencil, my book, and write it down, and
Nice.
then come back to the computer, can put it all in, and then I thought, well, maybe I can cut that out if I just put it straight into the computer.
Cut a step out of the whole thing, yeah. Tom.
And it's worked out better for me to do that because I can always, anything you write down, you can always go back
Yeah,
and rewrite it, which you do many, many times.
I bet.
It's not just like, oh, okay, I'm going to write all this, I'm going to write this chapter and then
Mhm.
leave it. It can't be done. You have to
Yeah,
go back to this page, go back to, and continually over and over until you finally feel in yourself that it's right.
that's right, yeah.
It does take time.
Yeah. Well, I'm inspired by you, Tom, that you've done it multiple times, several times.
Thank you.
Is there a total of 2 books, or are there more published?
I have the Drew is the first one in that series. The ASIM series, I have 3, and this will be
Nice.
4 that's
Okay.
published. I've got a couple of more that I've written that are not published yet, but I do have them written. So that's something that people can look forward to coming out soon.
Nice. That's great. Yeah. Now, Tom, they're giving me the signal. Whenever you're on, Tom, we tend to go over time, but you're fascinating to talk to, so I appreciate that. Here's the cover of Tom's book, Drew, Drew and the Centaur, a spiritual sword, the spiritual sword. I just want to give you a minute, Tom. You want to say anything else that we skipped about this book, or anything in the world you want to talk about?
Well, obviously, I'd like to talk about this book and people going out and buying this book. I think people will really enjoy it. Like I say, for people, it's a book of friendship. It's camaraderie. It's 2 young boys working together, going into something strange, and it's proven to people that, hey, you don't have to be a Superman, you don't have to be this, or whatever to be brave.
Mm-hmm.
You just have to, go there and do it. It's a great book.
Yeah, it sounds great, Tom. And it's 2 boys that are not the same. Is that correct?
Well, yeah, they're right close to the same age, but
Yeah.
they meet as boys, and then it goes on from there. And then Drew learns that the other person, his name is Ahmet, and Ahmet is a centaur, and Drew learns that, you know, uh, pretty early on. But he does learn that. But he thinks he's a young boy to start with.
Yeah. And I'll make the final pitch, Tom, is that go to Amazon or wherever you buy books. I'm not pushing one company over another, but don't go there and click once. Click 5 times or 10 times. So you're going to need books. You're going to need gifts throughout the year. Get these on your shelf and be ready to give them away. Thank you, Tom, for coming on the show. You're a true
Thank you, Mike.
inspiration to me. What you're able to do with your mind is just incredible, to create this world that
Appreciate it.
doesn't even exist, and et cetera, Tom. So thank you, and I hope you'll come back again and again.
Yeah, I hope so. Hopefully, maybe when the next one comes out.
All right, I'm just going to close with the cover. Here's a beautiful cover. By the way, Tom, let me say this. This is how I pick my next book. The cover is a big deal to me
Absolutely.
when I pick a book. So your covers are always great and just kind of draw you in. Who's this good-looking kid? Wait, he's half horse or something like that. So, all right, Tom, we'll talk to you next time. And for our viewers, don't go anywhere because we'll be back with another author, international author, right after this.
Thank you, Mike.